What's up, collective? So today, if you resonate with it being equal, I wanted to spread a message about what it means to feel equal to one another. So to love somebody, you have to think of them as an equal. You have to think of yourself as, like, the Bible puts it in a way funny, as a servant, and I'm kind of like resonated with that, as in I can do more for other people than I can do for myself, and maybe you resonate with that too as well, is that you feel like you're better off trying to make people happy than making yourself happy, because, and I mean, if we're thinking numbers wise, I could easily make 5 people happy in the time it takes to even ponder what would make me happy. So I typically go for the 5 people over the pondering myself. And recently I have pondered myself, and you probably have been as well, what is called shadow work. Is where you kind of like dig up parts about yourself and you're just like, ooh, that's a really thing. To separate myself from that pain, and you could separate yourself from that pain and notice it and be in that moment and be like, okay, wow, that is a nasty trait that maybe I've had some trauma, or you've had some trauma in your past that has triggered that, or maybe you have a relationship trait that you just, when you're in relationships, maybe you distance yourself too much when things get rough. There could be a multitude of things that you limit yourself on, and you could notice if you separate yourself from the situation. Like, you take a step back and you're just like, okay, if I wasn't in this situation, I was just viewing this from the outside, what would this look like? And most of the time, we can see more problems about ourselves than we can about other people. Like, you can see your own problems way easier because you're the one acting on them. And you're like, wow, dang, my intentions were really wrong here. And again, we're separating ourselves from the situation. So we're like, okay, so this person's intentions are really, really off because they're seeking attention, or they're seeking validation in something that they know themselves they can do, and they don't need that validation. And maybe this person's feeling frustration because they don't feel heard because this person's so focused on their validation. And then you're like, okay, now this is me though. And so now I can change the things that I've noticed about this person because I've separated myself from this person. It's like manifestation happens because you separate yourself from what you want to get closer to what you want. So you're like, if I'm going to be a movie star, I see myself as a movie star. To see yourself, you have to separate yourself from the self. But you also need to be very, very in tune with yourself. I feel like most people that walk a spiritual journey have been tuned with their opposite gender. So, like, whatever gender you are, if you feel more comfortably with female or male or any of the subgenres, this is what you would see your inner light as. And your inner light is basically, to me, you're any spiritual person. Whenever you're like, let's say you're running a mile, and let's say if you're in shape and you can run a mile easily, let's say 3 miles, and you're tired, and there's this little voice inside of you that goes, dude, you could do it if you got up. It's gonna be hard, but you can do it. It's always this clear voice that's you. Typically you, unless you have a lot of trauma like me, and you typically mold it to a certain personality you would like to see in your life. But deep down, it's you motivating you in your toughest times. There's moments of weakness that you've had, probably your darkest moments. You can remember that voice being there, being like, dude, come on, you can clean it up. Or, come on, who's a bad bitch? You know what I mean? You've been in those dark moments, and that's what's pulled you out, is that voice right there. So what do you think that voice is? Do you think it's literally you? Because a lot of us don't have hope in ourselves. We don't have value in our own worth because nobody told us that there was value in our worth. I think people like John Dina really flock to the collective because, one, they're master I almost said manipulators, but they're manipulators of their own fabric of reality. So wherever they stand in life, they have molded their life to that because they know what they want, and they can see into the future, and they can see that, and they already know. So, like, they plan their steps to get to that. That's what most successful people do. But some people do it, and they don't know how it happens. You got people like me who just, like, You feel like a walking imposter until you're doing the thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing. And then you're just like, wow, okay, so that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter. Why am I sitting here worried? And you could just relax, taking the sun, you know? Taking some sun. You know? I don't even sunburn no more. I've lived in Florida long enough to burn and immediately go tan. That is my exposure to the sun that has done that throughout my whole life. So what does your exposure to pain do? I don't remember who quoted it, but pain is weakness leaving the body. Every time you do something that feels uncomfortable, eventually it stops being uncomfortable. Go out in the cold with a jacket on if you want. But the people that go on without jackets don't need jackets anymore. You want sunscreen? Keep using it. Well, I mean, please, by all means, use sunscreen. You can't be born in the South and, you know. Don't mind the hair. It's a work in progress, like all of us should be. It should never not be a work in progress. The moment you stop being a work in progress is the moment that you should be dead. And that may be tomorrow, or it might be 50 years down the road. But you have to be accepting of both possibilities at the same time to be truly happy. If tomorrow was gone, or if you had 50 more years to endure this shit, would you be happy in both? No? You try something. Rapping, painting, video games, anything. Literally anything. Just anything that sparks your smile without you having to pretend. That's all I got for y'all today. I got other channels I'm working on, other projects I'm working on. I can't really release all my information out to the world at one time. It's going to be a blowout event. But don't doubt me. Don't doubt yourself. The moment you see yourself talking down about yourself, that's not you. That's not the inner you. It's something else. Get it out. Get it out. Say it. Write it out. If you have to say that you hate yourself, write it out. And then go read that stuff again. It's going to be dark. It's going to hurt. It's going to be like ripping off a Band-Aid, though. Once you let that wound breathe, it heals a lot faster. You just have to be gentle with it in the beginning and cure it and purify it and be truthful and honest and love one another and give back. Give back. Everything that you take and you don't give back turns to grief. Love you guys. Stay strong, collective.